Well, this week on Dateline Schools, we're talking about attendance and the importance it is to get our children into school each and every school day. And to tell us all about it and give us some suggestions on how we can improve on that, my special guest is the Executive Director of Attendance Works, Hedy Chang. And Hedy, we've been talking all week about chronic absenteeism. So what strategies do you have that schools can implement to reduce the number of students who are chronically absent?
Thanks so much. Such a pleasure to be here again. First of all, let me start by saying we know that absenteeism is a sign that positive conditions for learning may be missing, whether those classes are in person or being offered at a distance. And what do I mean by these conditions? That kids and families feel that school is physically and emotionally healthy and safe. It's a place where they feel a sense of belonging, connection, and support. It's a place where there's academic challenge, engagement, and they're surrounded by adults and peers who support those conditions. And they have relationships at the heart, which are really making sure that all of these positive conditions are in place. And when there are high levels of chronic absence, it's an indication that there are systemic barriers to having this in place. So if you see a large number of kids, let's say you're ninth graders who don't show up to school, which has been a huge challenge in the last year, maybe it's because they don't feel a sense of belonging, connection, support. If we see a whole bunch of our elementary school kids not showing up, maybe it's because school isn't feeling physically, emotionally healthy and safe, especially without a vaccine and in the midst of a pandemic. And that means then, once we know what these challenges are, we can really make sure that we're addressing them and putting in solutions that address that particular challenge. But I also want to say part of this is really built upon the need to put in place tiered systems of supports. That's making sure you have foundational whole school supports that ensure that there's a relationship building core in schools, then making sure that you're having universal prevention, like attendance, taking attendance in a caring manner every day, having ways to acknowledge kids when they show up, or tier 2 interventions, whether that's mentoring, home visits, reaching out and creating attendance plans and having that happen from the school level, or tier 3 supports, which are things like intensive case management and interagency coordination for those students who face much more serious challenges to getting to school.
And it doesn't sound like it's an easy task and something that does take time. It's not a problem that's happened overnight. It's not going to get fixed overnight either, is it?
Not at all. And this is actually why one of the great strategies is what we call success mentoring. You make sure a student is connected to an adult, or sometimes it can be another student who just checks in with them 3 to 5 times a week, noticing when they're there, checking in on when they're not there, and helping them connect to resources they might need. And it's that building of trust over time. You know, families don't tell you when they're facing challenges if they don't know you well, if they don't trust you. And it's being able to have that dialogue with a family that helps you know what kind of resources a family might need, whether it's health related, housing related, whether it's access to engaging after school, that will help a student's attendance improve.
More tomorrow for Dateline Schools. I'm Terry.